Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Brothas-in-law. It's good to be back after a little bit of a 2 week break. Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving, got to spend time with your family and friends, and ate a bunch of good food. And now we got to let that all get through us and worked out through us, and then get ready for Christmas here in a few more weeks. So,
Right?
good. Right. So good to have everybody here. Everybody's jumping on tonight. So if you're new to our channel here at the Brothers-in-Law, we talk about police involved incidents that occur around the country, and we see if the actions of the police officer, what a reasonable officer would do. And we also take a look at the actions of the citizens to see if they follow our acronym of CALM, which we came up with, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on, where the situation had turned out differently. Tonight's video, uh, definitely, in my opinion, Mike, these kids could definitely use a lesson in calm, right? And focus on what they should be doing, not doing when they're interacting with the law enforcement. Ooh, I think we just lost Mike real quick. He froze up. But we'll take a look at that. And so, again, my name is Corey, and I'm a former Virginia State Trooper and retired Navy Chief Petty Officer, and Mr. Michael Bradley, who I got to get back on here. There he is. Mr.
All
Michael
right.
Bradley. Welcome, my brother. Hey, Scott. Welcome, Stacy, Tone.
Lost connection for a second there.
Oh, you good. You good. So yeah, we got a good show lined up. This here is dealing with teenagers. And Mike will set it up here in a second. But like always, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And you know, let's get into it, Mike.
Yeah, this happened last year, I think it was. Let me see,
Yeah.
last year. And it was shown to us from Delando. Delando, one of our viewers, sent this to us. And so we're gonna make a comment on it and see what's what. A lot going on in this particular video. You know what I'm saying? So this was brought on to West Safety. Uh, that's what this video originally came from, and it says Midwest Safety, but the police car says Savannah on there. So I don't know if it's Georgia or somewhere back in that area somewhere. So these officers were called to this area, this apartment complex, for a large fight involving some teenagers. You know, say a congregation of teenagers. Of course, when the cops get there, all the teenagers they start to run away, and they catch a few, but that's why they're there. Okay, so keep that in mind for our viewers that these officers are responding to reports of large congregation of kids that are fighting, and some of these kids are known to have criminal history. You know what I'm saying? And this is probably uh, a problem in this particular complex where these kids go to hang out and start trouble. You know what I'm saying? Trouble ensues. So trying to get a grasp on that and try to make it, uh, uh, try to reduce the amount of conflict they have when it comes to this type of call. So let's go ahead and start this up. This is the first kid they come across right here. And
where do you at? Where do you live? What building? Come on now. No. What building do you live in?
Officers respond to a call of a fight between about 20 teens. Some of these teens are known to have an extensive criminal history.
So I'm gonna tell you. This ain't I'm gonna tell you. You're gonna get. Come on, what you doing that for? You're fouling and you're obstructing. Come on, man, what you doing that for? I just came. He ain't got nothing to do with that. He just got school. I'm his cousin. I'm his cousin. I ain't do nothing. I just got over here. You can take me.
Hey, can you stop it right there, Mike? Can you hear me? You froze up again. Hey, All right, so this is our YouTube channel, and we're gonna stop it where we feel necessary, where comments will have to be made. And right now, the first comment I want to make to the parents out there: start talking to your kids and teaching your children. Never, ever, 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 ever run up on a police officer like that. That little boy Lucky, uh, something worse didn't happen to him, right? Because like we always talk about on this channel, you never know what type of officer you're going to get. So parents, please start talking to your kids. Do not run up on the police like that if they see somebody that they know that's getting detained by the police. And in this situation, it's a good way to get yourself put in handcuffs as well, as we're about to see here. So I just want to throw that out there, Mike.
And remember, handcuffs don't mean you arrested. Now, y'all not quite. It just
Correct.
means you're detained. You know what I'm saying? That's what it means. Okay. So handcuffs can be used loosely. You know what I'm saying? Keep in mind the problem that I mentioned in this particular video. You know, so these officers are expected to try to get a handle on this problem. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to start. They already know we're going to cuff people that don't belong in this apartment complex. This is private property. You know what I'm saying? This is apartment complex, and all these kids get out of school and they come to this complex and they congregate in this complex, whether they live there or not. So the officers, as an officer, Corey, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm gonna get a handle on this, they're gonna all take off on you, or that they ain't gonna tell you the truth or whatever. This kid is.
Oh, you froze up, Mike. You there, Mike? I think you froze up, y'all. And I do have control of the video as well. So let me take his out, and I'm gonna take him off. So bear with me, folks, as I upload we're gonna share screen. This one right here. Until Mike jumps back on. Oh, there he is. Good deal.
Did I freeze up again?
Yeah, you did, dog. I got you. We're straight. Go ahead.
Okay. And this girl runs up on him, and what is she going to do? What is she trying to do here? As an officer, you know what this girl's trying to do. She runs up and tries to attack what's going on with the officers. You know what I'm saying?
Back it up, Mike. I backed it up. We didn't get to see it because I think you froze up. So back it up. After the key after that kid runs up on her in the red jacket.
He ain't got nothing to do with that. He just got.
Okay, this kid in red, he runs up. Okay, you don't know what this kid is doing. He could be one of the ones involved in the fight. He's running up in an aggressive way. Hey, you're gonna cuff him. You know what I'm saying? Until we figure out what's going on and everybody that's involved here. Can you hear me, Corey?
Yeah, I got you. You're good.
Okay.
You thought you were gonna hit the play button. That's why I ain't saying that.
I'm his cousin. I'm his cousin. I ain't do nothing. I just got over here. You can take me. You can take me. Come on. Hey, no, come on. Don't put your hands on me.
So as aggressive as these kids are with the police, do you think there was a? Yeah, probably was. Someone called about a fight and said a fight was going on. And yeah, this girl runs up, immediately starts getting physically aggressive with the officers. You know what I'm saying? No, don't do that. Here we go.
Back it up. It's my big sister, please. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. do nothing. Take me out these airplanes. Look at the car. Step away. Big sister. Step away. For what? I ain't doing this. Lord, I can probably. I'm killing my husband. Get the out of here, bro. We got nothing to do. We just game over here. When I get my sister, get my sister the f up that ground. Or everything I'm gonna stick the f when you're off. God, let me go. Let me go. I ain't got no weapon, man. Let me go.
Where do you live at?
Oh, I was down here.
Then get out of here now. Live at. You work here. All right, kick rocks. Where do you live at? All right, kick rocks. That one. Which one? Venture?
Hey, okay, I'll get down. Call my mama.
Where do you live?
Now, keep in mind, all these kids in this complex, most of them don't even live in this complex. And the problems are the kids congregate in this complex and they start fighting. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. These officers have to get a hand on that problem. They have to try to solve that problem. The first way they're going to do that, Corey, is if you don't live here, you don't belong here. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't here because you're visiting family or you got a relative here or whatever, you don't belong here. So that's the first way they're going to try to address the problem of congregating and fighting.
Yeah, you have no business on that property. You're trespassing here. That's what you would get hit with, trespassing or loitering, and then you're refusing to give identification of yourself. And that fine. You don't want to ID me, then let me ID it, and you're going in handcuffs. I'm gonna detain you so I can figure out who is who in the zoo, for lack of better words, in this situation. Because remember, they got called to this as a call for service. They have to figure out what is going on, right? I mean,
who's involved in whether
it's
you're supposed to be or not.
Right. I mean, and I think as I was reading some of the comments in here, obviously they're always, bashing the police or whatnot. But, it's not one of those things where you just, all right, we just gonna come in here and hey, you gotta leave and then disperse the area. Well, if you don't hold or set some type of precedence, like, hey, you don't come on this property and act a fool. You
Right.
know that the police will be called and they're going to come in here and they're going to start detaining people, or some people are going to get arrested, right? You don't live there, so you're making it that environment and that apartment complex unsafe for the people who do actually live there, the ones who are actually paying money to live there. You just some teenage kid have no business here other than somebody was going to fight. And now I be lying to Mike, have we done dumb stuff like this as a kid? Go somewhere when we weren't supposed to be, yeah, but we're adults now. We know that wasn't a good idea because we weren't thinking like that as kids. But a lot of these kids, as they said in the intro to this video, some of these kids have criminal records. And let's just face it, Mike, these teenage kids today ain't like how the teenagers of yesteryears were. I mean, some of these kids walk around, with AKs and 9mm and everything in they pants and in their cars, and as an officer, you don't know what you're getting ready to roll up into.
Right. Keep in mind, let's keep in mind the problem that these officers are here for. Okay, let's keep that in the forefront. Not about harassing these kids. It's about controlling a problem and trying to set a precedence to let these kids know, don't come here to cause problems. Don't come here fighting. Don't come here congregating if you don't live here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the residents want. Let's keep that in mind. Here we go.
Where do you live? Then leave. Where do you live? Put your hands out of your pants. Put your hands out of your pants. Where do you live at? Where do you live at? Huh? Where do you live at?
Why you in my face, cousin?
All right, cool. Where do you live at? Nobody did to y'all. Yes, you did. All I did was put you in cuffs. Don't give me the want this down and give me all these stuff and take me home. See, I got you dropped your body cam. Calm down.
Look, he yelling, "Get me out of these cuffs and take me home." Dude, you should have went home from the beginning. You should have been there in the first place, obviously. Okay, so we're going to detain you until we figure out what's going on with you, whether you are involved or not. You are aggressive and you are loud and yelling and screaming and all this toward the police. You're going to get cuffed because I want to make sure you don't fly off the handle and do something stupid. Here we go.
I think
if you don't live here, leave. If you don't live here, leave. If you live here, go to your home. Come get my phone. Come in to call my sister. I told you no. She won't hurt me. No. Stand back. Just ignore us, please. Yeah, just ignore me. We will. We will. They were just fighting, man. Come to the bar and they got her in the car, bro. Step away. Hey, I'm on the phone. Stop talking. Wait, keep talking. Whatever. Boy, just wait. Just wait till my daddy get out here, boy. On my soul. You get up behind this. Y'all, man. Shut up, man. Chill out, bro. You all right? You get lucky? You all right? Man, he did just arrest him too. Where do you live at? Where do you live at? All right, you're about to come here and talk to me. Where do you live at? Good. You do have to talk to me. Watch me. Where do you live at? All right, then cool. We're gonna come on. Number 5. Called obstruction. Ordering and prowling. I can do this all day long.
Yeah, last time you talked to me, you said you're gonna kill us all.
I didn't say that.
See, Corey, this is the culture today of these young people. They have no respect for authority. You know what I'm saying? These officers are here not to harass you. They're here to solve a problem. Okay, if you ain't doing nothing and you don't live in that complex, you need to go home. That's it. You heard the officer say several times, if you don't live here, go home.
Go home. Kick
Go home.
rocks.
Right.
Yeah, and while I was watching this video, getting my thoughts together, and that's like, well, I'm trying to look at this from two sides. One as from the law enforcement side, and the other side, obviously, as a parent, as a dad, and you know, when I put the hat on the dad, I'm like, yo, the only thing I heard throughout this whole thing was I think that towards the end, we'll see towards the end, the officer mentioned the fact, but only one dad was mentioned. But I'm seeing all this, everybody automatically saying, call my mama, call my mama, call my mama. Where your dads at? Because I know if these are my kids, I would have knocked their heads off their shoulders as a parent. And my wife would have done the same thing, knock their heads off their shoulders. First of all, you ain't gonna talk to no other grown person like that. And second of all, you ain't gonna disrespect law enforcement. These guys got called out here for a reason. And ain't no sitting like what our parents used to say all the time, no, go out here and act no fool. Because you are a direct reflection and representation of your parents when you step out that house and when you're away from your parents. So I'm wanting to bet, Mike, how many of these kids, the way they're talking to the police, talk to their parents like that.
Or worse, their parents talk to police like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I mean,
they learn that behavior. They learn to be disrespectful to authority like that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that this is the culture, right? That we create now. And you can tell the ones in here which ones are going to have another run in with the police, and next time it may not be, as I won't call this peaceful, but it won't be as subtle as this. Like, they can be end up dead. These kids are headed down the wrong path with the total disrespect for everything. So now nothing happened, and I'm all right. I don't want to jump the gun here, but uh in the video, a lot of these kids are going to be turned back over to the parents. All right, whatever it is, what it is, because you don't want to get into that pipeline, if you would, like they like to use to start these kids on the wrong path and getting into the system. Well, what are you supposed to do when this is going on, folks? And please answer me that. What are you supposed to do with the youth when they're starting to act like this? Oh, we don't want them to start going into, I think Tone said a few comments ago, they need more after school programming. I mean, great, but we know everybody's not going to partake in that. You know what I mean? What else can be done so that these kids don't end up going down the wrong path? Well, some of them are already headed down that way, according to the beginning of this video. They've already had rap sheets running with the police already. And they're probably what, Mike, 15, 16 years old in this video, at least, right? Already having run-ins. And so now it's like, what are we supposed to do? What's the answer to ensure that these kids don't head down the wrong path? Because
you got a lot of these kids though that don't have good examples to look at home. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with Delando.
Are like you said, Corey, they're a reflection of what they see at home. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. But you gotta understand the issue here. These officers have to deal with the complaint of these kids congregating in that complex and always doing stuff crazy, where someone's going to get hurt, or someone's going to get shot, or anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't live in this complex, you need to go. That's the first thing. You know what I'm saying? And these kids need to have that mental attitude towards this situation. But instead, they have the attitude like, you the cop, you the enemy. You can't touch me. You can't ask me questions. I don't have to leave. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have. Well, yeah, you do have to leave. It's private property. It's a apartment complex. And you'll see that in a minute here, where some of these parents come pick their kids up, because every kid that has cuffs on there, their parents come to pick them up. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's called obstruction. And right now, loading and prowling and obstruction.
Do you know the rule?
Do I know the rule? Yeah, I know the rule. I know the rule.
You just put me in handcuffs.
So, absolutely, it's not a rule. I'm not sure where you got that rule from, but that's not a rule.
I don't have to answer your question.
You're right. You don't have to answer my question. You can go in handcuffs. Take a seat. Now it's called loading and prowling and obstruction. Have a seat. We need more cars.
And you got these kids think they know the law better than these officers do. Okay, instead of being it's just all backwards. Instead of it being in the forefront of your mind as a kid that I need to cooperate here and do whatever these officers are asking me to do, you know what I'm saying? Instead, it's all confrontation. It's all, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Dropping F-bombs. Things are a lot different today. These kids are so disrespectful today.
They're very disrespectful, and you're gonna tell him what he got to do. Like, okay, where do you get this from? And like you said, it's all learned behavior, Mike. They been around people and watch people throughout the course of their life, seeing how they interact with law enforcement. Now they think that's how it's supposed to be. Oh, you just what you go that jailhouse the jailhouse lawyer, they're gonna try and tell you what the officer is supposed to do, shoot and cannot do, you know. And he's schooled. I know the rule. I know the yeah. You don't know the rule, young man, or young lady in this case. If you don't identify yourself, fine. You don't have to. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and detain you because you're loitering. And I gotta figure out now if you live here or not. And I'm gonna have to get some type of ID from you. If you don't want to do that, then guess what? Now you're gonna be arrested for obstructing. So we parents, we have to start teaching our kids the acronym CALM: comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Again, you have the kids. Well, I mean, if you probably could have just lied, yeah, I stay in building 23A over here, and just start walking that way, and they would have just said, "Hey, yeah, all right, we're going home," and you'd been out. You know what I mean? No, you want to be confrontational with the police, and then now you in handcuffs. Now you want to woo woo woo. Nah.
And keep in mind, the police are supposed to be here. Okay, they were called here to get a grasp on this problem of a large group of kids that are congregating, that are fighting. Okay, they have to get a handle on that problem. That's why they're there. They're not there to harass people. They're not there because you didn't call. Okay, they're there because the residents called and complained.
I think we lost you again, Mike. Yeah, Scott, I agree with you. Now that they got the handcuffs on them, now they want to play like, you know, that they're the victim in this case. No, you know, let's remember the police got called to the scene, right? They were called here for a disturbance call or a fight. And it wasn't just one person called, from what I gather from the article.
You do live here, and I ask you your name, and you can't provide it. Now you're required to quell my suspicions that you're not loading and prowling, which is why you're in handcuffs in the back of my car. Now, what's your name? Cameron. I don't want you to be in handcuffs, but I'm going to take you to jail. I would much rather call your mom come pick you up.
Hey, yo, hold up. Chill out. First of all, we're going to start this whole thing over.
How y'all doing?
Good.
I'm her mother. Why is my daughter in handcuffs?
Your daughter is in handcuffs because she was fighting and then thought it was a good idea for her to try to swing on the police. So as of right now, your daughter is about to go to the juvenile detention center. You can ask him questions.
Okay, also, where's my son?
Who's your son?
He in the cartoon.
He in the.
They tried to tackle. No, this is what happened. She was not fighting. They was jumping a boy, and then Rashawn had jumped in, and I guess they tried to arrest him too. So that's when.
All right, we're gonna stop all this. So this is the way this works. That's your daughter?
That's my daughter, and that's my son.
Your daughter is under arrest. She hit 2 officers.
What did the officers do to my baby? They tried to tackle Rashawn, and that's.
See, that's the problem. What did the officers do to my? Never mind, my daughter ran up and attacked 2 officers. Never mind that, Corey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's what did the officers do to my kid? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why these kids act this way. Okay.
Yeah.
Your daughter went up and attacked 2 officers who were in the process of detaining somebody else. They wasn't even messing with this girl, but she ran up and she attacked 2 officers. Okay. Yep. Forget about that. This mom is completely forgetting about that. She is completely saying it don't matter whether she ran up and attacked 2 officers. I want to know why she arrested. Okay, that's the problem right here. Here we go.
Hey, all right. Do we have a Rashad in custody? He's the first one that charged that baby. There's no charges on him? No charges. All right, so, ma'am, excuse me. So right now, your son Rashad, I believe he's one of the ones we had to detain his brother. He's not being charged with anything, okay? Apparently, there was a large fight out here. We don't know why yet. As this large fight broke out, officers arrived on scene here, and we tried to gain control. Your son Rashad charged one of the officers. Didn't get hit. He didn't hit anybody or anything like that, so he was detained. When that happened, I guess his sister came up, and that's when she struck 2 officers. That's why she is now detained and being placed under arrest. Okay?
So out of this whole fight, my daughter the only person going to jail?
As of right now, yeah.
Mom! What you keep hollering for me for? You don't think I can hear you? Do you not understand that I'm already pissed off? Because you told me that you would stand after school. So how the hell your ass end up pissed off? They called me and said, I don't give a when nobody called you and say, and you supposed to be your ass at my house. So how you get crossed out to better garden? I don't give a why's my daughter going to jail? Because you doing some extra. No, ma'am, they was trying to jump the wire and I jumped in.
And I just started jumping.
You got anything?
Wait, she said they was trying to jump Kimora and I jumped in. Okay, who was she talking about? The police were trying to jump her, or was she actually talking about a fight? You know what I'm saying?
I think she's talking about the fight earlier and why she ended up there.
Right.
Not the fact that she charged at the police and acted a fool.
Right.
You know, and I would say to that point too, Mike, she's also lucky that, you know, as she was running up on the cops, that she didn't get tased and fall flat, you know, face first into the sidewalk and bust her head all open. You know, it's just her actions were just uncalled for, all of them, actually. But I just want to throw that out there. Go ahead.
Here we go.
Tell me now. A lighter? Where? Don't reach for it. Have you been around weed? Because your clothes reek of it. Is there any on you?
I'm going to check the back of the patrol car. I'm going to find it if it's there, okay?
You might as well just tell us.
In
In
your
your
sock?
sock? Alright. I'll take your shoes off. Pop this up.
Alright.
Alright. Sit back in the car. She got nothing in her boxers.
Just the joint?
Just the joint. She had weed on her.
Yeah, we don't. No charges, right? No charges. Mom's right there. She comes over. Release. No charges. No charges. Mom's on the way. Once she gets here, we'll release. Got it?
She had a joint in her sock.
Who does?
Who?
Who?
The one who threatened to kill us last time, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell me what exactly went on.
So, our officers
This
responded
is
to
part
a
of the man.
fight that just occurred here.
Mhm.
There's apparently 20 individuals.
Mhm.
Just a large fight.
Yeah.
When they arrived on scene, a lot of people scattered.
Yeah.
A couple of people came running up, and a couple people ended up getting detained because they
Okay.
were trying to fight for themselves.
So I'm the new senior manager here.
Okay.
I'm not going to tolerate it. So if you are tied into this and you live on my property, you're going to get a notice to vacate.
Okay.
I already done got it from my ADO.
Have you met Linda? This is the property manager.
Good, good. I'm gonna get with her.
Okay.
You hurting me a little bit?
You okay? You smacked me on my head. My head is hurting. I felt dead on my body.
Do you want to go with EMS? Do you want him to go with EMS?
No, it's fine. Where y'all taking her to? Juvenile?
We're calling right now, so we'll let you know in just a minute. We'll take it. Alright.
I'm the mother.
Hey.
My son, y'all just called me.
Other vehicle.
Oh, everybody knows. What's going on?
He claimed that he wasn't out here fighting. He got put in handcuffs because he was out here fighting at some point in time with somebody. So he's not getting charged today, but since he's a juvenile, we got to release him to your custody.
So what happened?
Big fight ensued and we showed up.
Who was he fighting?
They faced the vehicle for me.
Turn the messenger.
And so I'm not telling you what to do, but I think you need to make better decisions. I didn't say. So
He'll be outside.
I'm just saying. The point that I'm trying to make,
We have to take photos. Hey,
the point that I'm trying to get him to understand is regardless if he gets into stuff or not, who he hang out with, you don't need to hang out with somebody.
All right. First of all, he hanging out with somebody. That's how he ended up in the complex in the first place, lady.
Right.
So don't stand there and say he's a great kid and don't hang out with no fools. He was over there in the first place. That's how he ended up here. Okay.
Yeah.
So he was hanging out with somebody to bring him over here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And he don't live there. So why is he here?
Right. Exactly. He don't live there. He ain't got no business over there. Okay. But yet their attitude is the police did something wrong and it's not their kid. And instead of trying to teach their kid a valuable lesson, Okay, they chose to say, "Hey, forget about the police. The police did wrong here." Okay, here we go.
He's not a problem child. No. Anything else?
Nope. Yeah, all good.
Okay. Thank you. Every black child is not a problem child.
I didn't say he was.
I'm just saying how he get.
Stop. There you go. Your point right there, Mike. Every child is
Here
every
we go. All right.
problem child.
The officer didn't say he was a problem
you think
child.
your kids can't do no wrong. That's
Right.
what it is. You think
And
your
they-
son
and
or little
you-
daughter, a little angel, that little Timmy
Right.
can't go out here and get his hind parts in any trouble. And the proof is right there. You seen it. Okay, well, he ain't had no business here. Obviously, he just don't stay home. He don't do nothing. Well, that's a lie. Right?
Yeah,
Obviously,
he obviously does something
don't
because
know
that's
your
why
child.
he's there.
Right. You don't know
That's
your
why
child
you had
now,
to
lady.
drive over here to get him.
Right. Right. Yeah, he good. He don't go nowhere. He don't do nothing. Well, what he doing here then, lady? I and she ain't gonna say it again. They just gonna be bashing the police, like you said, Mike. The police was wrong. They shouldn't have done this. And I guarantee she probably called down to the precinct and made a complaint. But lady, use this as a lesson to teach your son. Don't go jumping off the bridge because everybody else is jumping off the bridge. Because where you land, it may not be soft landing. And he can get himself severely hurt, injured, or killed. And it's unnecessary. Take better control of the kids.
Yeah, and I'm thinking from this officer's perspective, he was trying to spit some knowledge to this kid. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even charged or nothing. He was released to his parents. Okay, he was trying to spit some knowledge to this kid, but instead, this mother
she went out,
turned it back on the police. You know what I'm saying? He never said Joe Kill was a problem child. He was just saying you need to make better choices. Don't tell me he don't hang out with nobody. That's why you drove all the way over here.
Right.
Okay?
Because he was hanging out with somebody.
Right.
And that somebody is a problem child.
Right. Here we go.
So you believe your child over the police? Okay.
So out of all the kids,
Obviously, you don't know what you raised, lady.
So this is the way it worked. When I rolled up, everybody's scattered. Okay. So I don't know who was fighting, but they don't live here. It's called loitering and prowling.
What's your name and badge number? You have a black stick.
Officer Johnson, 16.
Oh, that's fine. Let me get that.
I don't have a card, actually.
Y'all better still put him in handcuffs.
Because
And y'all ain't got a reason, so I don't. It wasn't fighting.
They did have a reason.
This was coming from my city. He wasn't even fight. She got him on the video camera. Coming to the house and coming from school. Y'all is something else. Y'all better go to the ones that y'all need to go to.
Better go to the one that
She all off the mark there. I'm sorry.
Tell me what happened.
Yeah.
Stop that. Stop it.
No, you ain't coming out until your mom says so.
He wasn't arrested.
Yeah.
Sit back in there. Can anybody tell me what's going on?
We got a call that there were about 20 children out here fighting. So when I showed up, everybody scattered. And he refused to identify himself, refused to give me his name, his birthday. So that one became instructions. He went to handcuffs to be detained. That's why he was. We're not going to pursue those charges. We're going to release him to you.
What are the charges?
Loitering and prowling and obstruction. But
Do you know what your charges are? Listen, I ask you one more question. You shake your head at me, and you ask me with attitude. They can go ahead and take you because I'm getting sick of this. Why didn't you tell this man where you live at? This man ain't lying on you. I know your attitude. This man is not lying on you. You should not have came down here. It is a phone in the schoolhouse that you can use. There's several phones there. Somebody is coming to get you. You know that. And then you got an attitude.
Ma'am, thank you.
Well, my phone not going. No, he arrested me because I didn't want to answer his question. Okay, Camera. What's wrong with you? Camera, you are in somebody else's property. That don't work like that.
I
talk to her dad. The paper will be sent to that address that they live at over in Iowa. All right, so just wait for the court date. So I called the jail to see if they're going to take her, but the jail wasn't going to. That's literally the only reason she's not going over.
Kimura was charged with felony obstruction, loitering and prowling, and 2 counts of battery. Kimura was charged with possession of marijuana, obstruction, and loitering and prowling. The others were released to the care and custody of their parents. One parent made it clear that the blame for the entire situation was the fault of the police, who responded to numerous 911 calls related to a large fight. They are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
And that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
I think that last mom, I agree with Delando. I agree with Delando. You know, that last mom was probably the only reasonable one out of all the parents. I think that the mom that had 2 kids, the son and daughter that were detained. Well, the daughter ended up getting arrested. She came off sideways, but I think once she realized what was going on, everything was falling into place. She still seemed like she had a little stank attitude, but she calmed down a little bit. But this last lady, I liked her a lot. Why they got to lie? Why the police got to lie? They were called here. Now, I know some people would say police lie, they do this, that. Yes, bad police officers will do some dumb stuff. But these guys are up and up. I don't think that they ever had any intentions, really, Mike, to want to take anybody to jail other than this, the young girl there who hit the police. But you know, overall, I think these kids really need to learn how to interact with law enforcement when something like this happens. Shoot, when it happened like this when we was kids, Mike, what we did, we just took off and ran, you know, and was gone. You know, even where we hung out, when we were able to drive and stuff, we hung out somewhere, and you know, the police would come and try to disperse everybody. What we did, we just jumped in a ride and we dipped out. You know, we went somewhere else. We didn't stand around. We didn't try to, you know, cause a scene, and because our parents would have beat the mess out of us if we did. But these kids have no total respect for law enforcement whatsoever, and you can tell by the actions of the parents that showed up there. What they say, the fruit don't fall far from the tree.
All right,
there it is.
But like you said, it was a couple of those parents. They looked like they handled it the right way. I'd say 3 of those parents, they at least kept the focus on their kid as far as what their kid did wrong. You know what I'm saying? They kept that focus, and which is the focus they should have kept. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They handled that part pretty good, I think. You know what I'm saying?
But I think, like you said earlier,
the problem go ahead.
I was gonna say, like you said earlier, though, like the point of this whole thing is that when you have large crowds like that, particularly teenagers now, whether it be in an apartment complex, whether it be them hanging out at the mall, wherever there's a large gathering of teens like this, or adults, you know, the police are going to start handcuffing people if they're not starting to get the answers they need, or I should say detaining them. They're not getting the answers they need as far as loitering and everything going, and because you got to figure out who's who in the zoo here. Like, we have to get down to the problem. Who's the one causing this disturbance? Who's the one doing the fighting? And you may get detained, and if you do, okay, still remain calm, comply, answer their questions, listen, and then, you know, all the evidence showed that you had nothing to do with it, you were just getting ready to roll out on your own or whatever, the cuffs will come off and you get to move on. But don't try to take it to the next level as if, you know, they're just all in the wrong. Now I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on, because like we said, we have to have positive control over the situation. We're going into a chaotic situation, and now you're trying to de-escalate everything that's going on, and try to figure out what's happening, get everybody calm so we can start the investigation.
One thing's for sure, the reason why these officers are called there initially, I bet you that problem was taken care of because now these kids know if I'm gonna come over here and start loitering and congregating and fighting and stuff like that, somebody gonna call the cops. You know what I'm saying? They know that, and they know that the cops will show up and the cops will start detaining people, putting people in handcuffs, and figure out what's going on. So I bet you these kids are less likely to come over to that complex and congregate and start mischief. You know what I'm saying? So you could be sure that this officers did their jobs and they did their jobs correctly.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, they got at least one person arrested, and then she probably shouldn't have been arrested if she hadn't ran up on them. But I do remember one second this crossed my mind now, Mike. One of the comments I read was, they're kind of upset the way that the police handled it, the whole situation. I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, what would have been a more better way of handling this? I mean,
yeah, these kids, well, they're going to be confrontational with you. You have to assume that, as you saw there, they were. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you can't just, as an officer, you might have to put some people in cuffs, guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be confrontational, you can't just let them say and do and walk away and do anything you want if they're not following your instructions. You know what I'm saying? You have to take some kind of enforcement action. And I think people have a problem when cops have to take enforcement action. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They don't like to see that. Yeah. But you teach your kids to be respectful and cooperate and do what you need to do with the police. None of that will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess I asked the question to our viewers, how do you think the police handled this situation? Could they have handled it any other way, a better way, per se? I think they did fine. I mean, you could have, if you wanted to, just go in there with your intercom system, drive around a lot, and disperse. Now, if you don't leave, you will be arrested. I mean, I'm sure you could have done that, but is anybody going to leave?
Right. If some kid got stabbed or seriously hurt or something like that, then they look at the officers about, why didn't you stop and contact somebody? You have found that out. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a problem. So, there's.
So I think this is probably the best way to do it. And then call the parents. I mean, I'm sure you've called parents, Mike, over the years to come get their kid. And I've called parents at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, come get your kid.
Yep.
And a lot of times that probably does a lot better job than taking them down to juvie.
Oh yeah. I avoided taking them to juvenile hall at all costs if I could do that. You know what I'm saying? If that meant calling your parents to say, hey, I need to release this child to you, okay, in your care. Because right now they're in their officer's care. If I'm detaining you, they're in my care. So I need to release you to appropriate figure as a kid. I can't just let you walk away and go wherever. You know what I'm saying? Once I handcuff you.
Right.
So, I don't think these officers did anything wrong. There's more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I'm saying? But the way they skinned this cat, it was fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Nobody got hurt, and nobody got killed. So I think it was all good. So let us know what you think, folks, down in the comments below. Did these officers act as reasonable officers, right? Let us know what you think. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. And we just like to say thank you all for watching us this evening. Hope we got something out of this. Look, we got a lot of work to do as parents, as citizens to teach our youth to utilize the acronym of CALM: comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. This is how it starts. This is how it starts, Mike, with them getting into the system and acting like they can just do whatever the heck they want to do, and nobody can say nothing or do nothing to them. No, that's not how society works. So let's start having this conversation at the dinner tables and talk to our young adults out here. These are our future. These kids are here are our future, right? And this is how we're gonna act. I don't think so. Thank you all for watching. Mike, final words.
Thanks for joining us, Delando, Tone, Scott W, Stacy. I see you on here. It was a good video, Delando. Glad you sent it to us. Something to talk about.
Yeah, man.
And we'll see you guys. Have a good weekend. And peace out.
Yep. See y'all next week. Same time, same sandbox. God bless you. We love you.